Hello everyone, I'm Steve, Mark's around. Say hi, Mark.
Hi!
And this is Smokey, Steve, and Mark. Either welcome or welcome back, and happy Saturday. And to the folks in the US, happy 4th of July. I'm all red, white, and blue. The hair's not red, white, and blue today, but I did take it up back to blonde. And it is the weekend, so we are doing dark roast, vanilla, almond milk, and Splenda. Something a little simple, and on ice because it's hot. It's very hot, and of course an unfinished basement because it's hot there too. So today we are going to revisit our fair lady Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, the Daily Chantal, Chantopolis, and now Foodie Beauty again. Now she's had she had out, from what I can see, about 4 videos this week, and then some activity on the community board. Highlights for this week include, as far as I can see, a health diagnosis, and a little bit of clap back to Charlie Gold, I suppose. So we'll just go through the videos, and then we'll do a little reading, and then we'll have a little chat, okay? So let's just dive in, I guess. So where we left off, there were some community posts, kind of the "you don't own me, don't fat shame me, everyone's fault for me being fat but mine." Vibrating foods made a cameo last week and thankfully worked their way out. And Mark called her a total disappointment. He was crushed because she fell off the wagon.
Crushed! I was crushed!
He was devastated. So, going through where we left off, she was going to do the Beetlejuice dance. She was going to get into dancing as a means of exercise. And then nothing for a little bit. Then day at home with Chantal and Pete's. So in the beginning, she's singing Riders on the Storm into a banana, which sounds about right. New hair. She does have new hair, and I like it. It's shorter. It looks thicker. She says she's still putting her, thingamahoozies in her hair to make it look thicker, but it looks nice. And she's waiting for a kitchen set to be delivered, which later Pete's is assembling and Chantal is directing and filming, from what it seems like. They're ordering dinner. So this 3-week, I know we shouldn't hold Chantal to her word because she's consistently inconsistent, and I don't know if she means to lie, but she does. Her and Pete's were going to hold each other accountable for not ordering out so much, and they were going to make food and and they ordered out. So she got a salad. Not bad. It's okay. It was there was a lot on the salad, and then she had artichoke spinach dip on the side. There was a reaction done to that by Charlie Gold, and I thought, well, maybe this is the one, because there's some drama on the community board directed at Charlie Gold, and I thought, is this the one that kind of stirred it up? And I went to watch the review of it, and it was rather kind. It was nicer than I usually am to Chantal. So put a pin in that, because it'll come up again later. But at any rate, she said, sometimes I just need a break for making videos. And she apologized to her audience in general for her mental health, her wackiness, I don't know. It's easier for Mark and I to film because we can trade off. Like Mondays, I don't have to film. I don't have to be on camera. Saturdays, Mark doesn't have to be. So there's days that we trade. And on any day we're both on camera, if one or the other didn't want to be, we could pick up the slack. So we have, we can tag in and tag out. She doesn't really have that option. I don't think she'd throw Pete's on the camera for 20 minutes to talk about comic books and, I don't know, little Japanese cartoon anime things. There's an audience for that, but I don't know that it's hers. So, and again, this was the video where she mentioned changing the name to Chantopolis, which was going to be any and all things Chantal, which lasted, was it 20 hours even? I don't know.
How ridiculous.
Chantopolis? Yeah. We're going to change the name of the channel to, I don't know. What would go with Steve?
SmokeySteveAndMarc.
SmokeySteveAndMarc. No, I don't think that goes. First of all, never mind. I could go on for a little while about how self-important it is, but we won't. So next was a Greek-style food mukbang. She looked naked in the beginning. It was flesh tone, and she had, she's full through here, and she was sitting like this, so she looked nude. She wasn't. And it was just going to be her dinner and just talking. So she said she woke up, her whole day was messed up because she woke up late, at 2. And she was up embarrassingly late watching Temptation Island, which I know nothing about, but apparently people like. She said there was a mix-up with the nurse coming. I'm guessing it's still for the dressing, that she's getting changed in her back from where I guess her bra strap was rubbing, and I mean, she can't do it herself. And if it's a surgical wound, I'm guessing Pete's, even though he helps with the socks and shoes, isn't going to help with that. So I'm guessing that's what the nurse was coming for. Temptation Island. There's another YouTuber I follow who talks about this stuff. I never got into that crap, but she says it's bringing her back to being with BB and thinking about temptation when she was with BB, and would she have been naughty and have cheated and stuff like that. She said she didn't technically break up with Pete's before she started seeing BB. There is no technically. There is no. I didn't technically. I cheated a little. That's like being a little bit pregnant. Either you are or you aren't. And she kind of tries to, in her Chantal way, and she didn't invent rationalization. Let's not throw Chantal straight under the bus when it comes to loyalty and disloyalty, and I'll tell you my slutdom in a second. But cheating, it depends on what stage and if you aren't happy. My high horse, which I've learned from years of being a bastard in relationships, occasionally, if you're not happy, talk about it or leave. You don't have to cheat. You know, you're trying to have your cake and eat it too if you're cheating. You want the comfort and stability of the relationship, and you want to have fun on the side. And if everyone's in agreement on that, I mean, different relationships have different rules. Some people, that's how they roll, and that's fine. I don't get it, but it's not for me to get. It's their life. So, you know, whatever. But she seems like she likes monogamy when it's convenient. I don't know. But long relationships, and Pete's chose to forgive her, which speaks to Pete's heart as a tender-hearted individual or as a doormat. Depends on your perspective. So, when it comes to cheating, I have to say, my experience about cheating has come totally from experience. When I was 20, turning 21, I spent a summer at a sublet. I was in college still, and I was living in Philadelphia. And I had an ex, and he was from my hometown up here in the sticks, but we had met in Philadelphia, and I was living there, and he was living up here, and, you know, it was kind of long distance. But it was my home. Like, he lived, like, 5 minutes from my parents, but 2 hours from me. And because of the distance, you know, I had felt like I had freedom to kind of do what I want, and we were only dating anyway. He wanted to move very fast, which was flattering, but also a turnoff. And I was drinking quite a bit because I was living in like a sort of a party house. There was nothing, like, I had a Colt 45 like every day, maybe two, a 40. So I cheated on him left, right, and center, and treated that relationship like garbage, and didn't tell him about any of it. Eventually he caught me and broke up with me, as he rightfully should. So, I learned a bit about treating people poorly, about loyalty, about honesty, and I haven't treated a partner like that since. So, it doesn't matter if I'm tempted, you know, in the relationship, or if I want to try to do something on the slide. It's just, you know, grown-up relationships, to me, you don't do that. You talk it out or you leave. You know, why stay if you're not happy? I don't, you know, people say till death do us part. I'm kind of more in the till the love runs out kind of thing. You know, there's certain things you do out of obligation because you've made a commitment to each other, but also, like her and BB, if they were just so miserable, I mean, it was just time. So, anyway, another apology for being mental from Chantal for going back and forth and back and forth. She wants to work on sticking to a consistent uploading schedule, content, you know. Things are going to shit on YouTube, she says, with cancel culture and the like. That's been going on for a little while. She's trying to be better with criticism. And she says, you know, people can change. If someone did something years ago, you know, people can grow and people can change. And I 100% agree. You know, what would I have been doing 10 years ago? I think I was guzzling mouthwash in a Burger King bathroom. That's what I was doing 10 years ago. So we all do have the capacity to change. And I think I said another time, and I didn't invent this saying, but I like it. There's never a wrong time to do the right thing. So it's one of the reasons I cut Chantal breaks more often than I probably should. Because if someone's going to make a change, you know, it's important, I think, have people on your side. Laden with doubt? Of course. But on your side nonetheless. She said, actually, if she had more subs, she's thinking she probably would have been canceled so many times. She's talking about cancel culture. Shane Dawson, apparently. I don't know big popular people on YouTube because I like smaller channels anyway. But apparently there was some issue there. He was very popular and beloved, and then there was some turn of events. And then there was the issue of accountability on YouTube. You know, everyone says really dumb shit that they regret, but the internet's forever. It's forever. You know, there's stuff, you know, talking about, she had mentioned Charlie Gold, and I was going through videos to catch up, and it was like Charlie Gold and the Gaining Ground and all other stuff. I've got a mugshot. I'd be happy to show it to you. It's out there, okay? There's no, there's no missing it. We did what we did, we do what we do, and if you put yourself out there in any sort of public way, it's going to come up. So you can own it and explain it and let it be what it is, or not. So, and I think Charlie did that, actually, when it came to the surface. As far as things from the past, Chantal will take exception to things that were in old videos of her own. And she'll say she's not that person anymore, but she kind of is. You know, in 3 years, sometimes her behavior really isn't that different. So yes, people have the capacity to change. Has Chantal changed yet? Not yet. So, next one, giant authentic Italian meatball pasta recipe mukbang. I was so hungry watching this. It looked so good. Now, there was some confusion or discussion about whether or not it's called gravy or Sunday gravy. I have never heard red sauce, tomato sauce, spaghetti sauce called Sunday gravy. Now, I did live in South Philadelphia, and gravy was something I've heard. And in Italian-American families, I've heard it called gravy. Yes, other kinds of gravy are also called gravy. There is no distinction. It's an interchangeable word. I don't know. We always just called it sauce. When I worked in a restaurant that was Italian, there was red sauce and there was marinara. But no one called it gravy. I don't know why. So, at any rate, she had a relative, I want to say a stepmom, who was Italian, and it was her recipe that she was following, except for maybe one ingredient. Good cooks always leave one out so you can't copy it exactly. And I like cooking videos, and she's wearing one of the shirts I like that I think looks good on her. It's the black one with the sleeves cut out. I know, that shirt doesn't owe her a dime, but it's flattering, I think. And she said it was kind of an emotional experience because the food was so good. She's a food addict. She's very much a food addict. It's not news to her either. I drank a lot of alcohol in a lot of different ways. I don't know that I ever cried in appreciation of it. I certainly cried when I drank, but it wasn't out of love of booze. So, I don't know. She said it was, you know, a flavor explosion, and she was very excited about it. And then, I think she ripped ass, right before she took the first bite. And it was like, you know what? There goes me liking you to... I mean, she doesn't need me to like her. She doesn't care if I like her. But call me a fan, do something like that, and I'm that much further away from being a fan. You know, call me John Q. Chantal fan. And that puts me that much further away from thinking she's worth respect. As a creator. Not as a human being. We're all worthy, dignity, respect, all that crap. But as a content creator, no. No. So she does a creepypasta with pasta, and I like her creepypastas, except this... She doesn't really do original ones, she retells stories. Not original, but there's some hard-to-find horror stories and mystery stories buried all over the internet. And what she did was retell a story from Unsolved Mysteries, the old one with... I like Unsolved Mysteries!
I do too.
From the old one, and she was talking about with Robert Stack. He scared the shit out of me as a child. First of all, the Unsolved Mystery, it was on... I think it was on the same night as the Golden Girls. I want to say Sunday night, and it was on at 10. So I was up too late on a Sunday, on a school night, watching that. Because it was in the early 90s, and I was born in 1982, so I was a kid. Scary. The ghost apparition scared me. The aliens with the big heads and the eyes. Everything freaked me out about it. Robert Stack's voice, cringe. Cringe. Rest in peace, Robert Stack. There was a redo of it again in 2008 with Dennis Farina, and they used the same old footage, but there was updates pretty much to everything because it was, 20 years later. And apparently there's a redo now of it. So she told some story about Civil War ghosts and some haunted nonsense. Whatever. She just retold the story. So then she goes into Alive. Next one. Late Night Beeson. Now, what comes up either at the same time or shortly before, is a health issue. God help me if she took these down. I'll go to the community board and we'll look at it there. Now, okay, we all know Chantal was a person of size. That is not news. And that Chantal has other co-occurring health issues related to her weight. The CPAP, being out of breath, her cardiovascular health isn't all that it could be, we'll say. She has difficulty breathing, doing simple tasks in her home, like taking the stairs, you know, like that.
Tying her shoes.
Tying her shoes, putting on socks. So 3 days ago, this was posted on her community board, and we'll take a read at this, and we'll go together. Happy Canada Day, guys. Happy belated Canada Day, everybody. I have some bad news. My blood sugar levels are very high, and I will be put on a strict diabetic eating plan. My doctor is referring me to a diabetes clinic. Put a pause there. She's going to be on a diabetic eating plan and going to a diabetes clinic. Diabetes. I'm like Wilford Brimley. And in the live stream, she says pre-diabetic and gives her blood sugars and everything like that. So I don't know if somebody has, please leave below, if she's actually said, I am a diabetic or I am diabetic. I don't know if those exact words came out, because those would be hard to suck back and take back. When you say pre-diabetic, not that it's not as serious, but it's less final, I think. So, despite how bad I eat and how I never exercise, I'm shocked by this news. What?
Really?
It's like Chantal's diabetic. In other news, water is wet. Like, you know. I also put another deposit on my trip, which I had lost sight of. I get defensive sharing my struggles because they make me vulnerable and emotional. Yeah, you're right. The struggle I go through every minute of the day is dismissed by someone calling me a failure, and I let that get to me when I now see how ridiculous it is for me to let the opinions of others bother me. Let's not get off point here, okay? In the end, they make me stronger, and I no longer care what others think of me, as those who belittle others are worse off for just doing that, period. You can't attitude your way and defend your way out of diabetes. This is all moot. This is all moot. That being said, and out of the way, I will have to change the content again of my channel to a more health-based one because my diet will be very strict in order to try and reverse this mess I got myself into. So, clap if you're surprised. You know, comment below if you're surprised. So she's at least pre-diabetic. And during the live stream, when she was talking about it, well, you know my live streams, I zoom through and pick out a few things here and there. She drank some expired juice. There was an incident at her home when they had the Canada Day barbecue with her family, something with the pets. She said her blood sugar. Now, I'm not that informed on diabetes. My father is type 2 diabetic just recently. Changed his diet, and lo and behold, he's managing it. Who'd have thunk? She said her fasting sugar was 5.8 to 6, but it's been 10 lately, or so. So she needs more blood work. She also weighed in on how people think you wake up one morning and how can I gain weight today? Like, that's her first thought. I can meet her there with her food addiction. You know, you might wake up and think, what do I want to eat today? You know, I used to think, where can I get my drink today? I wasn't thinking, how can I destroy my liver today? So you don't see long-term consequences like other people do who think clearly about the substance they're abusing. You know, a rational person wouldn't get, even someone who drinks a couple drinks on the weekend each night maybe isn't going to wake up on Tuesday morning and go, oh God. You know, people who have healthy relationships with themselves and with the world around them and with food and with beverages and all the other things people can be addicted to they don't carry on like that, you know? So I can appreciate when she says, you know, I don't wake up thinking, how am I going to gain weight today? But I wake up thinking about the activity that's going to cause me to gain weight today. So there's an extra step in between, but nevertheless, the end is the same. So, again, there's still leftover pasta. Another thing she mentioned. She loves documentaries. Good documentary, just saying. Paris is Burning, just putting it out there. I haven't seen it in years, and then I was in a chat or something. No, DC Media Girl. I was watching one of her videos, and she had mentioned it as a good documentary to see during quarantine. It's great. It's a subculture within a subculture within a subculture. It's fantastic, and if you ever want to know where Madonna stole voguing from, watch it. So that's the videos. Then we're going to go back now to the community board. And after the diabetic bombshell, we're going to talk now a little bit about the changing content again. Okay. So, that was 3 days ago about the diabetes, and this is 1 day ago. I'm kind of nervous about this, but I want to film a weigh-in for my next video. Okay. In one of the hauls she did a small Amazon haul in one of her videos. Forgot to mention this. And she did buy a scale. She didn't get the, hello, it's ready. She didn't get that one, which all the cool big girls have. So, she said, I do realize once I do this, I cannot revert back to unhealthy mukbangs. If you believe in yourself, you can do anything. Which honestly, I know the pasta wasn't a health food, but I haven't done a fast food mukbang in over 2 years. When you're using your diet to manage a health condition, these, like, comparisons, better than, worse than, you're only screwing yourself over with it. You know, you can convince everybody in the world, but I really think those days are over for this channel. I don't.
I don't either.
I wish for you they were too, but I don't. If I do have a slip-up, I won't make it a whole mukbang, but I will just mention it and nothing more. I feel now more than ever that I cannot, in good conscience, as a food addict and someone with an eating disorder, gorge myself on fast food in front of so many concerned viewers. I want to take care of myself every day, and I want to help people struggling by telling my truth. This is not bad. People on a journey can share the struggles of their journey in real time going forward. This is a good thing. People do this. People do this with cancer journeys, with weight loss journeys, with all sorts of other journeys. The issue is, one, and I do this, so don't do what I'm doing, be preachy 2 days in, like we've got it all under control and we're going to start giving advice, because that's obnoxious. I'm obnoxious when I do it, you're obnoxious when you do it. So don't do that. My story, it's been a bumpy ride and it will probably be at times, but I hope to have a good bout of consistency going forward. I wish that for you too. I also understand how insane it looks to be an outsider looking in at my back and forth on this channel. I'm glad you have that perspective. Sadly, a perspective I don't get to see. Are you listening? Are you hearing me? I don't know. See, the other person I review watches every freaking video about herself. Every last one. I don't know that Chantal has the interest in doing that. Sadly, a perspective I don't get to see. I do understand it now, and I truly apologize if I've been defensive over certain criticism. It's okay. We're cool. That being said, I do stand by my word that I and other obese YouTubers have been targeted for fat shaming, cycle shaming, ableist comments, addiction shaming, and more. But all of this by people who are, 1, just don't understand our disorder, I do. 2, frustrated viewers who see themselves in us, that's me. And 3, people who hopped on the hate train because it was profitable for them to do so. I don't make a fortune off the videos I make discussing the foibles of one foodie beauty. And believe me, I take no pleasure in the fact that I see myself in some of her behaviors, because they're extremely hard behaviors to break. Is there a silver lining? I hope that it has caused some awareness as to how obesity stigma is still strong. I don't know. I hope you are all still willing to follow me on my journey to wellness on my 3 million attempt. Okay. So that's her health, and that's what's going on there. Now, I'm going to go through this last one. Charlie Gold released a video of a throwback mukbang, a retro react of Chantal. And Chantal shit kittens about it. So, the react was, I watched it. Now, I went back first, and the most recent reaction that Charlie Gold did of Chantal, I thought was flattering. Like I said, nicer than I would have done. But she did one right before that, which Chantal posted a reaction to, I think within an hour. Just, Chantal has a real hard-on for Charlie. She doesn't like her, doesn't like what she stands for. I think she just doesn't like her personally, but conflates it to, she's a bad representative of this and a bad representative of that. She just doesn't like her, and she'll look for bigger reasons to say why. But, this is what she had to say 19 hours ago. This is the only time I'm going to address this sad individual who has not done embarrassing herself, because at this point I don't even have to say anything. She is destroying herself with her continued arrogance and hypocrisy and bullying. Only a severely insecure person would feel the need to continue to fight with others online all day on Twitter, etc. So it has come to my attention that Charlie Gold has finally come out with a video. No, not a weigh-in, but a pre-recorded react bullshit video to one of my older videos, something she and her stans shit on Amberlynn for, but okay. See, Charlie, the problem with retro reacts is that people change and people grow. People do change and people do grow. I did watch the video she was reacting to, though, and people do change, and Chantal looks 10 years older in the 3 years of that video. I'm not siding with Charlie. I'm not saying Charlie said anything right, wrong, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm saying lay that video against one of today's Chantal videos, and I would hope Chantal can see the differences in her temperament, in her sense of humor, in the color in her face, in the light in her eyes, in the size of her body. She's done a lot of damage to herself and her personality and her spirit and her body over the last few years. That's a long time. That's pretty quick, you know? Okay. You are a woman who is also clearly obese and has not done any of the promised content on your own weight loss journey in a year. Granted, you've been hiding away, licking your wounds, so perhaps you've been losing weight behind the scenes. But even if you do come back and lose 50 pounds, that doesn't change the fact that you're still a hateful bully you always were. Your weight does not define your character. I know in my defense of reaching out to a boiling point, I have said some mean things about you, but I never ever sit on my platform and insult anyone on a daily. I do not exploit others with eating disorders and mental health issues, or anyone period, for views. Remember that psych ward video? I do not have to ride your Which one? I do not have to ride your coattails for success, and I never will. I do not have to degrade you and call you a sodium-filled whale or talk about your like you did about mine, and people think I'm disgusting for farting on camera. There's degrees of disgusting. You cease to exist for me, and so all of this background weird drama on here and other platforms, I will focus on myself and my weight loss, and I suggest you do the same because, save for a few folks, looks like you are still selling shit and no one is buying. So Chantal's obviously being very candid. Again, I don't know Charlie like that. All I've seen of Charlie's videos, I saw 2 today where she was talking about Chantal because I didn't want to go into this totally blind. I know Charlie's channel blew up very quickly. That early on she was embraced by the fitness community. I watched another reactor who I just learned the word lolcow, L-O-L-C-O-W, and somebody, when I learned the definition from Urban Dictionary, I could see how it was applied to certain folks like Chantal and some other folks like that, but it was being used to describe Charlie, and I wasn't sure. Like I said, I don't really know her like that, so I can't say. What I can say is that the video she put out about Chantal apparently provoked the hell out of her to put a post up, but then the next one that Charlie put out was, honestly, I think nicer than mine. So I try to do, when you do good, you need to be told you do good and be proud of yourself. And when you're doing shit, you need to be told you're doing shit, and gently, lovingly, but not in a coddling way, be told to get your shit together. Who am I to do that? Nobody. I'm a guy on YouTube. So, where do we go from here? I don't know. Mark, do you have any thoughts that you want to scream from the balcony?
Not really.
No.
Not really.
Your lighter doesn't work.
Well, here.
Here's another one.
Did that one work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Smoking your cigarettes, by the way.
No, the only thing that stuck out to me this week, and I don't follow her like you do. I see the videos kind of like when you're doing your research or whatever.
Mark's in the background.
I have, I'm on Twitter, and I see the things like that, and I just think that one thing that stuck out to me that it was, I don't know, curious that she, has a health scare.
Chantal.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the heels of Amberlynn Reed. I think you called that out a week or 2 ago and said, we'll probably see maybe some medical issues with her coming up soon. But, that's all timing, and, for a person like her, that could come up at any time, So, I don't know. I just thought it was curious, the timing of it. These name changes, I think it's I think she it lost it. Like, you know what I mean? I think it was an abrupt decision to do it, then she switched it back. And as far as this now, healthy weight loss, blah, 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 we've heard it all before. a gazillion times.
At this point, I think she's going to get, if you can imagine, more backlash if she eats
Yes.
poorly on camera. Because she's now
Absolutely.
disclosed that she has a health condition that is treated by a change in diet.
Yes.
Where she is actually making herself actively sicker
Yes.
by eating that way.
Absolutely, definitely.
So-
and then you'll see what will happen.
As I
She
sit here and
will-
smoke.
Yeah. And you'll see what will happen. You know, she'll eat something bad, people will say something, and then she'll come at them. This is my channel, I do what I want, blah, blah, blah. Don't hold me
It's my
accountable.
life. I know what I'm doing.
Like, one of those
And so
things
do I.
again.
So why the hell are you doing it?
It's just the same old repetitive thing. But I'm really glad you made a very good point about the comparison from the video 3 years ago and the video now.
God bless her. I mean, she
really has aged quite a lot, and like you said,
she
spiritually,
could have passed for
inside.
25 in that
Yes,
video.
Yeah, and her spirit was one that I caught. Like you said, I was very surprised at the difference. Yes,
She was happy. She was
Yeah.
joyful. Now she looks like she's just hard knock life.
hard, not like,
Shoving down
over
food.
it, like she should be sitting
Yeah.
with her hands on her face, like down in the. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mark. That was Mark. So, where we go from here? I don't know. I want to take her. I always want to take her seriously, and I'm a fool for doing it. Will this new diagnosis change anything? Did the clots? Did her not being able to reach her feet? God forgive me, it shouldn't even be a joke, but she could lose her feet and not have to worry about the socks because it's that serious now. It's getting that serious. This isn't flighty fat girl eating on YouTube and thumbing her nose at people who think she's gross anymore. This is life. This is real now. So I hope she takes it seriously. I hope that she gets better. I would be the first one to make, like I said, a 1-hour congratulations video to Chantal if she got her shit together and got a life. You know, but that remains to be seen, and that's entirely on her. So, and that's entirely on me, and it's entirely on Mark. We are responsible for our own health. So,
Responsible is the key word. there.
responsible is the key word. So, empty my ashtray. So thank you all for watching. Please do subscribe. Hit the like button and the bell so you get the alerts. You can follow Mark and I on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Our email address and contact info is all listed down below. Oh, you can follow us on Twitter at SmokeySteveA. Mark has been eliminated. Thank you for watching, and we will catch up with you tomorrow, 6 p.m. We go live. Every Sunday now at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time we are live. So thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Bye!